My date's wrong. Whoops. Yeah, I got it wrong twice in a row, actually. All right. It looks like we are live. So, another year, another disgusting board. So, one new piece of news. So, if you like this show and you want to support it, I do have Amazon links below for US, UK, Canada, Germany, Austria, Italy, and France. So if you're in any one of those countries and you want to buy something really, really expensive, that's awesome. If you just want to buy dog and cat food and cat litter and paper towels, that's also appreciated. That being said, let's get into this board. So did somebody puke on it? Looks like it. My right ear loves you. Huh. Does it? Oh, shit. You're right. Hello. Let's see. Well, how about now? Does my left? How about left ear? Oh, awesome, beautiful. Yeah, it's because I was only wearing the headset on my right side. That must have been the problem. See? There we go. Your Amazon Austria link doesn't. Oh. Huh. Let's see. You're right. You are correct. When you're right, you're right. I think you can use the Germany one for Austria. I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Yeah, I'm totally focusing on the right thing while I should be fixing the board. Here, I'll give you a better view while I fix my Amazon Austria link. We're just going to make it match the Germany link. So when you're wearing your headset in your right ear, I bent it the other way around. Excuse me? Dude, they never paid. They purposely, they said that they don't want to pay for a plan. Yeah, just send it to Steve so we can tell him to get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. There's this company, and these companies are tricky. They try to do tricky stuff. So what, how do I explain this? So, you know how you set up something and then you have like a monthly like managed service contract or something where they pay a certain amount every month and you go over anytime they're like, my printer doesn't work, my server doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. When you have a company that specifically says, no, we're not going to pay for that, and then they call up and they're like, you were supposed to fix our printer, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say other than, fuck you. Nice people, really, really nice people. Like, super nice people. The nicest people, but still, no. Nice try. Nice fucking try. All right. Let's see. Do we have an Amazon? Oh, of course it doesn't work. I spelled my fucking name wrong. Wow. I'm guilty of what I'm guilty of what the DMV does. That's sad. Oh, that is sad. I spelled my own name wrong. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think the Austria link for Amazon should work now that I spelled my name properly. Okay, so let's move around this board and look at all the parts that are disgusting. Yeah, I'm looking to get out of that whole like setting up servers, manage crap, because it always ends the same way. It's like we don't want to pay for a service contract, but every time my printer breaks, we're gonna say that you probably didn't fix it when you were here 6 months ago for the mail server kind of thing. Ew, what the fuck is that? Whoa, it's like a tower. That's a tower of pubes. Oh my God. That's a tower of pubes. You wear this Under Armour shirt and every other. When was the last time I wore a blue Under Armour shirt on camera? I know that that's not possible. All right, so I'm going to use the... should I use... Nah, the compressed air is not going to be... Here's compressed air. Wow, that didn't move it at all. No lungs. No lungs. Shit. I do need compressed air. Dude, it's not even close. All right, air compressor. We need a fucking air compressor. Someone says that's feminist armpit hair in the chat. No comment. All right, we're gonna pump up the compressed air container. All right. Need some air. Dude, all right, time for some air compression. These are some serious pubes. Sorry. Success. Pubes are gone. Okay. Pubes are gone. Poor headphone users. I'm sorry, headphone users. The hair of Trump. It actually did have a little bit of orange to it, now that you bring it up. All right. Where do we even start on this? All right. Da, 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 da. What's your take on doing repairs versus buying new from a bigger perspective? You're going to have to explain to me what bigger perspective means. What do you mean? No sound, somebody said. I don't think that's true. I think you're trolling. All right. So we're at 7 minutes into the stream, and I think I finally got my Amazon affiliate links to work. We have so I said yesterday that I had Spain. I don't have Spain. I don't think I can actually get Spain to pay me. So my bad. I'm sorry for all of you in Spain. Same for Brazil and Japan. I think they only do ebooks. And Mexico said that that there's no way to pay me, and it's like, yeah, I figured. Yeah. Go figure. Do I love using lots of flux? This is my pastime. I'm sorry, Carlos. I would have loved to have an Amazon affiliate link for you. Jesus. What solution do you use in Ultrasonic Cleaner? Branson EC. I actually have a link to it in the description. India affiliate code? I don't think so. I forget why I didn't sign up for India. It was either they only do ebooks and digital stuff, or it was that they didn't want to pay me. I forget, but I had a good reason for not doing India, but I forget what it is. It was one of the two. Because when you sign up for some countries, they give you this little red alert and it says, there is no way for us to pay you. And that made me lose all interest. These countries will only pay me with a check, so I have to actually receive a paper check. And it's check with a Q. I wonder if that's different. Like, I'm used to CHECK, but this is like CHEQUE. I don't know what to do with the CHEQUE. That's going to be interesting. It's a fancy check. Yep, the microscope camera affiliate code doesn't work. And it probably never will. because they don't sell my microscope camera anymore. Once I find somebody who sells a good microscope camera on Amazon, I'm gonna update that link. That resistor looks like shit. We'll replace that later. Oh my god. Once we get it to turn on. But what's the rest of this horse shit? Gross. That's how we spell check in English, with a Q. What's with the putting a Q where there's supposed to be a CK? Like a Q and an E. I don't get that. Oh, it never... Oh, onto the SMC too. No! No! I don't have a 2011 SMC. Every time I buy a board with a 2011 SMC, the SMC on the board is worse than the one that I had. Oh, man. Is there a full fix for the older MacBook Pros where Wi-Fi stops working and only comes back if you disconnect and connect again? I have no idea. Sorry. No, not enough info. So how many people who are watching this are a member of the Chipmasters Forum, the Notebook Squad? Anybody in the chat a member at Notebook Squad? MobiFix says, hey Lewis, I don't think you're allowed to hotlink non-products according to Amazon terms. They'll shut down your accounts and freeze any... If that's the... well, if that's the case, I feel like... One sec, spam. Must get rid of spam. If that was the case, I feel like Linus and Stefan Molyneux and many others would have been gone. I think Linus lost $30,000 because he was telling people to bookmark the link. I don't think it was because he was linking to a non-product. Bitwit. Huh. Who's a bitwit? USB to SATA? Yeah. They're both plugged into those two machines. The laptop and the iMac in the front. There was only two. I was looking for the USB 2 one that we threw away because that was all that was left. Okay, almost done preheating. So much preheating. We charge customer a fixed cost. Now fuck that shit where you charge by the component. That's just a silly way of billing. That's a silly way of billing. Alright, I think we've done enough preheating. Now we can go in for the final reflow. I saw it move a little. I'm content. Now we go to the other side of the board. So back to my question. Anybody in the chat a member of the Chipmasters Notebook Squad forum? Clock chip. Because Duke and I no longer are. We got banned. Why is beyond me. I haven't posted on there for like 3 months. I must have gotten at least 10 people to join that forum. Like, minimum. So I'm going to be asking for my $129 back. Because I don't have access to the forum or the FTP anymore. We're going to see how that goes. Duke has over 2,000 posts there over 4 years. Helping people. And I think that he actually paid the $129 to get in, just like I did. That's like a kick in the balls. That's a kick in the balls, man. So does fixed charging mean that whatever the problem is, how much expensive it may be, will you repair it and won't charge extra if repair costs more than what I paid? Semi yes and semi no. If the motherboard, we have a set rate for a motherboard. So if it's a fuse, it's the same rate as it is if it's 50 components. But that doesn't cover everything else in the machine. It's not flat rate by the device. It's flat rate based on the issue. So if the board is the issue, a flat rate for the board, and so on and so forth. Alright, I'm kind of curious, since there was corrosion by the clock chip, if we're going to have quarter fan spin. I'm actually curious, based on how nasty the SMC area looked, if we're even going to have a green light. But let's see if we get anything more than dead, which is where we were when we started. MobiFix. I don't sell schematics and board views. So it's impossible to compete. I tell everybody who wants a schematic and a board view to buy it from there, because I'm not going anywhere near that. But I'm not touching providing schematics and board views with a 10-foot pole. Okay, as you can see, it turns on in quarter fan spins, which is usually a clock chip problem, and this chip was corroded, so let's go over that. How not to get China ripped off. Good one. You start with a small order. You make sure that the small order is... Chris Long, it was Chip Masters that I got banned from. Anyway, for the question on not getting fucked over by China suppliers, you make a small order. You pray that you don't get screwed in the small order, and if you don't get screwed in the small order, then you make a big order. It's really just based on purchasing power. Do they care enough about you that they're actually afraid of losing your business? And that depends on how much money you spend. If you don't spend any money, then they're probably not going to be afraid or care if they lose your business. If you spend a lot of money, then they will be worried about losing your business. So you just have to be willing to put up enough money in the beginning that, to figure, $200 or $300 order to see if you're going to get screwed. And expect to pay a high price for the sample order if they're sending you a small amount of stuff. Oh yeah, tasty indeed. Tasty area. Why can't Apple just sell schematics and board views on their own website? It would basically be 100% profit for them, and they like money given the prices they charge. That's a good question. Again, I would honestly rather just pay Apple a higher rate than you pay for places like Notebook Squad or Chip Masters that sell schematics. I would much rather pay a higher rate there to get the stuff immediately than wait forever to get it from some dark corner of the internet. I'm sure a lot of others would as well. MobiFix, if you have any more details on that Amazon thing and could message me a link, I would highly appreciate it, because I'm open to the fact that I'm terribly wrong. So how much do you want to bet that this clock chip that I took off of 2915 is good? I'm hoping it's better than the graphics chip on that board. Hoping. Praying. Lots of praying. Most... I've had people try to post schematics in the forum, and I've banned them. So, there's no... I wouldn't say there's a competition between Notebook Squad and this. If you look at the average quality of advice offered there, yeah, no comment. You always say that you started this business with $200, but you never actually explain how you spent that. Yes, I do, but you just don't listen. I think it was 2 A1181 screens and a screwdriver. No, it's probably 3 A1181 screens and a screwdriver. 2 or 3 A1181 screens and a screwdriver. From Sun Valley US or Sun Valley Tech. I'm pretty sure that was it. I bought them at like... crap. Or maybe 4 Sun Valley Tech screens. I'm trying to do the math now because you got me confused. I started with either $240 to $260. The screens were somewhere between $50 to $68. Okay, I don't know the exact math. It was like 8 years ago, but it was A1181 MacBook screens and a screwdriver, which is really pretty much, and I think some $5 hosting. That was it. That was a long time ago. Hey. All right. Time to plug it in. Time to plug it in. I'm scared to plug it in. How sustainable is it to replace versus repair? How are boards becoming harder to repair, etc.? Well, hey, no more quarter fan spin. Check it out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, you can't see it. Here, see that? That is a continuously spinning fan. Continuously spinning fan. All right, so what did you ask on here? So, how are boards becoming harder to repair? How sustainable is it to replace versus repair? Well, there's a tricky thing going on here. So on one hand, you have the fact that devices are getting cheaper and the boards are getting cheaper. But on the other hand, you have the fact that they're becoming more and more integrated. So for example, the technology itself keeps becoming cheaper. However, it keeps becoming more integrated. So when I say more integrated, I mean the CPU used to be socketed. Now it's soldered onto the board. So let's say the CPU is cheaper and the board is cheaper than it was last year. But when you put CPU plus board together, now you have one product that costs more money. Now, you can continue this with everything like RAM and SSD. So the CPU and the board became yet even cheaper, but then with the MacBook Air and the Retina, they decided to start soldering the RAM onto the board. So even though the RAM is cheap, now you have that added cost into the board, which raises the price of the board. Then the boards became cheaper, and the CPUs became cheaper, and the graphics chips became cheaper, and the soldered RAM became cheaper. And now they're soldering the SSD onto the motherboard. So you have all these cheap components, but as they become more integrated, it's like, it's kind of this pattern where, Yeah, microphone clip almost fell off. Where price of the components goes down, but then you have more components on one device, which then makes repairing that specific device more worthwhile. So it's these kind of dips in these goes up and down, and the real interesting part is going to be with the new 12-inch MacBook and also the Touch Bar ones, where data is on the board. So yeah, Apple may help you if, let's say, your graphics chip dies, but let's say power rails to the board die that power the SSD due to liquid damage. Now fixing the board has become more lucrative. Or with the 12-inch Mac, like you may that computer could be worth $10. If you want the data that's on the board, you're going to fix it. So it's interesting. It's interesting. It constantly changes. It constantly changes. Eventually, I think this is all going to be a joke because you'll be able to just replicate your data by like pressing a button. It'll just beam itself to your glasses that you're wearing, and the device will be $5. But that's a ways down the road. Do you ever plan on upgrading your website? Fuck that. No. I learned my lesson on that. I used to have a website that had a green background, a Microsoft Word table, and text with my phone number. I got a new website. It looks so much nicer. Didn't increase business at all. It actually dropped my Google ranking by a few, and it took 6 months to climb back up. I did it again. Same shit. No. I learned my lesson. The website should answer the customer's questions. That's it. If you answer customers' questions quickly and you provide them all the information they need to feel comfortable doing business with you, you're good. If you're like focusing on like what color should go here and this, that, and the other, you're just torturing yourself. And I mean, I know this from experience. It's not like an opinion that I just came up with. I've had about 4 or 5 different websites, from some halfway, designed by me, which were a joke, some that were WordPress templates, and others that were designed, 2 of them that were designed by professional designers. And every single time I've done it, when you change the whole website, your SEO goes down for a few months, and then it goes back up again later. So like if you're, let's say, ranking number 1 or 2, you'll go down to like 5 or 6 for a while. And the second thing I've noticed is that it truly has no difference on phone calls, no difference on conversions, no difference on bounce rate, all that stuff. It's all about the content. I'm keeping that website until I'm dead, probably. I learned my lesson. It's just not worth it. Like the time that you put into that could be spent on any other part of your business. Like what services could you add to the website? What parts could you sell that you didn't before? What else? Like anything but that. But fuck the website. Making the office look nicer? Nah. My lease is up in 2023. When 2023 comes, they're probably going to make the rent for this place like $35,000. And I'll be happy that I didn't invest in making it nice. What else is there in chat? It's never good to let the smoke out. I agree. Pretty sure I shorted STH. I don't know what STH is. On my old iPhone 5S, nothing shows on the screen before. I'm pretty sure I could find the problem if I dug in, but I don't have hot hair handy. Should I bother? I mean, if you don't have the tools that are required to do anything, then you're kind of screwed. If you want to buy the tools and you want to learn, then fix it. If you don't want to buy the tools and learn, then don't. But you got to make choices that are consistent with what you want to do. If you see a pulsing fan with no boot, what would you think it is? Usually the RTC chip. Either RTC chip, current sensing by R7050, R7051, R7052, or 7151, 7152 on the retinas, the battery current sensing, or the RTC chip. If it's not one of those 2 things and it's quarter fan spinning, then chuck it. Or, I mean, technically you could keep looking into it, but, I mean, realistically speaking, I just chuck it. Oh, more spam. Spam. Just watch your video where you say it's easier to just replace a suspicious resistor instead of checking if it works. Can't you just check its resistance with a multimeter? Well, to check its resistance with the multimeter, let's say I have my tweezers and my hot air, right? So this is in my hand. I could either pss, pss, or I could put them down, pick up the multimeter, turn on the multimeter, and then do this. It actually takes more time to measure the resistor than it does to replace it. If the resistor is good, then I still wasted more time than if I had replaced it. If the resistor is bad, I've now wasted the time of measuring it and wasted the time of replacing it, which is a really sad thing. And when these and again, if you buy all these donor boards for like $17, I mean, well, what does a resistor's cost? Like 2 cents? So for me, I'd rather just replace it. And even if it works now, it may not work 2 weeks from now because it got shocked. So like in a lot of these videos, I actually do go back, off camera later. And like if I see stuff that looks even the tiniest bit screwed up, I just wind up replacing it. But it's boring to do all that on camera. Due to your channel, I have started getting back to work. I have so far fixed 2 water damaged iPad and a busted MacBook Pro. That is awesome. That is awesome. I think that's great. Is it possible to even recover data from the SSD that is soldered onto the MOBO? Well, that depends. If let's say 12 volts went to the SSD, then that's not going to work. If 12 volts went to the SSD, then you're screwed. But if it's just the power rail missing or something, then you may not be screwed. There's a startling amount of time, sadly, that the SSD got 12 volts. That makes me sad. I always hate giving people that news. I heard warranties void of sticker is removed is bullshit. Is this true? It's true by the law, to my knowledge. I could be wrong with this. Vice did an article on this. Hate to credit Vice. Vice did an article on this. It's true by the law. However, what was I saying? It's true by the law. However, it doesn't matter what the law is if the manufacturer doesn't cover it. And most people are not willing to go over to court over their $200 cell phone. So what really matters is that the manufacturer doesn't cover it. Because again, most people don't go through the legal system for their $200 cell phone. Because the legal system is painful. Lewis, I'm getting close to retiring from the Air Force and didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, but thanks to your videos, I now know what I want to do. Thank you. Well, that's awesome. Wish you the best of luck. So, not sure, but I think I may have been wrong. What Amazon slammed Linus for was that he'd tell his viewers to replace their bookmarks to Amazon with a link containing his referral. Okay. Yeah, which, by the way, is something I don't ever bookmark any of my Amazon links. Never bookmark my Amazon links. Ever. That's a very, 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 very terrible, bad, don't. I'm still going to look into that because if you thought it was... MobiFix is smart, so if he thought it was true, there's probably a good reason, but still. Do you ever use an oscilloscope for repair? Audio, yes. This, no. I use the oscilloscope for teaching purposes, but not for... Best way to add an SSD to a PC with no CD... What? No CD port? What? Why did I read that? Oh. Is it a good buy to actually get the 17-inch quad-core MacBook Pro to this day? No. 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 Do you want a graphic? Unless you want like a decoration for your window where you just put that little pixelated, fucked-up-looking apple that doesn't boot in there? No. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't do that. That machine is a piece of shit. To continue with replace versus repair. Apart from Apple, how do you feel about the Microsoft Studio or the direction ThinkPads have just turned to shit? No antimicrobial keyboards, no dedicated volume buttons, cases that crack again, getting rid of the old keyboard layout. That's just all really sad. I don't think the Microsoft... I haven't really looked at any of the Microsoft Studio machines. Again, my only experience with the Surfaces was I went to the Microsoft store. I walked up to the Surface laptops, and then I saw it said, ask associate for price. And then I just kept walking. Because ask associate for price means that I can't afford it.
Are you charging it? You don't know the house, right? Probably not. I told him I'll see what I can do for you. But he
All right.
Yeah. Never bitch, never said,
All right. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something.